World leaders are attending the second day of the annual United Nations Climate Change Conference in Baku. Though the heads of some most polluted nations are skipping the conference, a strong showing is expected from the world's most vulnerable countries. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has unveiled the country's climate goal at COP29 summit. He has said that the country will cut greenhouse gas emissions by 81% on 1990 levels by 2035.
So at this COP, I was pleased to announce that we're building on our reputation as a climate leader, with the UK's 2035 NDC target to reduce all greenhouse gas emissions by at least 81% on 1990 levels. Our goal of 1.5 degrees is aligned with our goals for growth.
Since there will be a change of power in the United States, U.S. National Climate Advisor Ali Zaid reassured COP29 attendees that the U.S. would uphold its commitment to fighting climate change, despite the re-election of Donald Trump, a noted climate skeptic.
And for those who look to the last couple of weeks in U.S. politics to think about where we might be driving, think about this. Most of those battery factories are built out in states with Republican governors, and they don't want those factories unplugged from their economies, and they don't want those workers laid off. They want this prosperity to continue.
The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for climate justice in his address. He said the developing nations must not leave empty-handed. A small group of developing countries that currently contributes the money wants the donor pool expanded to include other rich nations and top emitters.
Now more than ever, finance promises must be kept, and developed countries must race the clock to double adaptation finance to at least $40 billion a year by 2025. Adaptation investments can transform economies, driving progress across the Sustainable Development Goals.
Meanwhile, during the opening address of the conference, Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev defended the use of fossil fuels and said that their country was subjected to slander and blackmail for its use of fossil fuel, and no country should be judged for its natural resources.
It's a gift of the God. Every natural resource, whether it's oil, gas, wind, sun, gold, silver, copper, all that are natural resources. And countries should not be blamed for having them and should not be blamed for bringing these resources to the market, because the market needs them. The people need them.
This year's COP29 is increasingly being referred to as the finance COP, as the major part of the negotiations will center around funding. A $1 trillion climate action fund for developing nations is at the top priority list. Representatives from countries and organizations worldwide will discuss how to mitigate climate change, adapt to its impacts, and support the energy transition.